Coming up tonight on Delmarva Sports Insider, the Bulldogs of North Carolina undefeated and marching into that regional title game with the familiar foe in Elkton in their way.
And still coming up, Sussex Central and that defense, mighty defense, looking to advance in the Delaware State playoffs. Highlights from their quarterfinal matchup with Appoquinimink are straight ahead.
Nice pronunciation in Delmarva field hockey. Pure domination.
Just stop
Wildcats looking for their third straight Division II title. We've got the highlights coming up.
Well, the studio is full, the lights are on, and it's time for Delmarva Sports Insider. I'm Ryan Eldridge alongside Sports Director Trayvon Miles and the ever-talented Jeff Harris. Jonah Restuccio, just a phone call away.
That's exactly right. Welcome to your favorite show, the only show giving you an in-depth analysis to sports action here on the Eastern Shore.
That's right, and of course we have a ton of state football action to get to, but as we teased a little bit, field hockey on the menu tonight as well. Both the Division I and II Delaware State Championship games taking place earlier today.
Exactly right.
Let's talk about Delaware tonight, but before we do that, let's talk about Maryland, right? Because we had a big-time showdown featuring the area's only undefeated team.
That's exactly right. North Carolina looking to be among the state's Final Four, matching up against Elkton tonight in Ridgely. The Bulldogs back in the regional final against Elkton, who took them out in this same spot a few years ago. So the first offensive drive for the Elks. Check out this name, Nolan Knoll, on the screen to Trevin Ewing. He's going to get inside the red zone, so not that North Carolina defense that we know. Inside the red zone, the Dogs, though, standing strong. Third down, they're going to get a stop from Ryan Bauer. He's going to swat away the pass. The Elks settle for a field goal to make it 3-0. For Caroline, they would wake up after a little while. There's a field goal, as you see, and that gave North Carolina some time to wake up. My guy, Joey Bilstein, first team all fullback right there, all Bayside, doing what he's done. He's adding another touchdown to the books. Bulldogs leading this thing 7-3. So things are looking good, right? Well, I'm not sure after this lead. No, I'm going to find Michael Vash. He's going to get it to midfield. The Bulldogs having trouble all night long stopping the pass. That's something they really haven't seen this year in the Bayside.
Yeah, that's right. Now, Noel keeping the aerial attack alive. Hits Demir triplet on the back shoulder fade. Nice pass.
Down.
Plus the flag, 10-7 now. Elks leading. Now, after a Bulldogs punt, Tayshawn Waters Jr. going to take the handoff around the outside into the end zone. So just like that, the lead extends to 17-7.
Oh, yeah.
With 45 seconds left in the half, Bulldogs, look at this. They're going to gamble on fourth down. Ryan Bauer gets stuffed trying to extend the play to the pylon. So we're going to go into the half with the score still 17-7. Now after the break in the second half, Bulldogs coming out sluggish just a bit on fourth down. Check this out. Casey Bird going to find the senior Will Manchin. But Kyrie Stevens lays down the thunder. Really, the way the night went for NC in this one, they suffer their first loss of the year and wrap up the season with a 28-13 loss. Now, for more on the game, we're going to send it over to Jonah Restuccio, standing by at the wall.
Thanks, guys. So let's take a look at this play that really set everything apart tonight. North Carolina, a team that hasn't struggled on the run, but we just saw Ryan Bauer trying to get into the end zone. So we're going to slow it down for you a little bit. Getting to the outside, not enough blockers coming over to help them. And something that they have success in all season long is getting to the outside and get it into the end zone. But one more look at it. When is the last time you've seen North Carolina stopped in the Bayside? Elkton, they've seen Caroline before, so they knew what was coming, and for that reason, they're the 2A East Region champs. All right, well, while Maryland playoffs for our local teams are starting to wrap up, Delaware's first set of games kicked off tonight in the postseason. We'll start off in Georgetown. Sussex Central hosting Appo in the quarterfinals of the Division I state playoffs. Golden Knights get on the board early in the first quarter. Shaheem Williams breaks toward the far sideline and takes the carry in 19 yards for the score. 7-0 Sussex Central on their first possession of the game. And the high-flying Sussex Central defense would just take over from there. Elijah Moore coming off the weak side and getting to the quarterback for the sack. Now this would be on the same Appo drive, poor guy under center. Zion Reed, just not a speedy running back, breaks free from the secondary and gets into the backfield for the sack. Special teams would prove to be even worse for Appoquinimink. Kasim Lewis, my man, the scariest man in the Henlopen Conference. Look at that, gets on the punt return, gets him down. Big tackle there. Central would go up 22-0 at the break, and then the defense not letting up. Moore had himself a night, getting to the quarterback once again. which would set up this, a 51-yard touchdown run from Philip Stratton. I think every night we're saying a different name for this Golden Knights team. Sussex Central rolls over Appo 36-7. The Golden Knights will travel to take on Dover next Friday night. So over to Woodbridge for the first round of the D2 bracket. Woodbridge hosting Howard. First quarter, Blue Raiders knocking, and in goes Jamon Payne, the Ocho, for the first score of the game. So fast forward, end of the first half, Howard's Isaiah Kelsey looking to get some points on the board headed into halftime, but it's picked off by Dejon Hammond. So 7-0 our score at the break. A cold one out there. Second half, the Bridge knocking again. The play action gets me on the camera as Troy Haynes goes in the other way to make it 14-0. So the Wildcats needing something to stay alive on fourth down in their own territory. Deshaun Ford Jackson, TFJ, in for the sack. So Woodbridge takes over, and a few plays later, look at this pass. Haynes finds his favorite target, Gabe Westcott, who hauls in the beautiful pass and catch. So then that would set up this Kane. He's going to stumble in for his second touchdown of the game. Woodbridge moves on to the semifinals, 28-0 the final. Their next matchup will be determined after the games wrap up this weekend. Guys?
All right, Jonah, thank you very much. So we had two big wins there tonight.
Yeah.
Woodbridge obviously getting the 28-0. What stands out the most to you about those two games out of Delaware?
I would first of all say the Sussex Central defense. Jeff, you were at the game and you know how good that defense is. You don't even have to be at the game to see the highlights every week that we provide from this team. And it seems like on offense, another name always being called, running the ball into the end zone, or Barnes is throwing them the ball. The thing for me is going to be, how is Dover going to be able to do what they do against the Sussex Central defense, a school that they already had trouble with this year?
Yeah, exactly. So we saw two things with these two highlights, and of course North Carolina falling in Maryland in the Bayside. Now 21-0 was that final between Dover and Sussex Central earlier this year. A while back, exactly. So both teams growing and improving. So it's going to be a high-powered offense against a high-powered offense and a high-powered defense from Sussex Central. Now Woodbridge, interestingly enough, won the Henlopen South title just like Delmar last year, came into the playoffs, went on a bit of a run, so now they have a shutout in their first game of the state playoffs. Now, is Woodbridge a serious contender now in the South? I absolutely think so after the performance they put on tonight.
We're going to have to see what happens next week between Sussex Central and Dover. That is going to be a star-studded matchup. Of course, we still don't know who Woodbridge is going to play. We'll have to see how things shake out with Delmar as they visit Archmere tomorrow. All
right, so we could potentially have quite a few area teams here going in the semifinals. So good stuff. All right, Trey, Jeff, good start, I would say, right? A great start to this playoff-packed show. But we aren't done yet. When we return, we have highlights of another area powerhouse.
That's right. Two Henlopen squads looking to repeat as state champions. Let's do this. Field hockey on a Friday night when Delmarva Sports Insider returns.
I'm Isaiah Barnes, Sussex Central High School. I play wide receiver and strong safety, and you're watching Delmarva Sports Insider.